Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Naiva Flory, and I am a Blue Diamond with Purium Health Products. And I've been with this company for over 8 years now, and it is my joy to be here today with my incredible counsel, Carmela Velarde, Taz Ferreira, and Michelle Ricci. And together, we've formed this incredible council to just share and bring things to your awareness. We have incredible in the news pieces and guests today to share with you, as well as a call to action at the end of this call. Today's call is all about fitness, nutrition, and bringing joy into your lifestyle. And I'm super excited to just be sharing on this topic because it's so important to have the proper nutrition for your body, especially when you're working out and you have a great fitness routine. We have to have the right nutrients to support our bodies. And so I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Taz to bring our in the news piece, and then we will roll right into our presentation. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Welcome, everyone. So I'm Taz Ferreira. I've been with Purium for the past 6 years. It feels like forever. And I am going to be talking to you about in the news. Okay, so first we're going to begin about fitness. So who has heard, when baby sleeps, mommy sleeps, right? Well, how about start thinking that when baby sleeps, mommy work out, right? We're going to show you a couple tips to keep you active, to keep you fit, even being a super busy mom. Okay, so since I became a mom, I started waking up early. Okay, I wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I know that might seem impossible or super early to some, but you know what? That time is super crucial. It's before the kids wake up in the morning, before the whole hustle and bustle starts to get to school. I have that moment, right? I have my morning green juice. I work out. No, not like vigorously, but a little workout in the morning just to calm myself and center myself before the morning begins. So that's a great tip. Get your workouts done earlier. Be flexible. Okay, let's talk about that. Sometimes you make those plans and then you're like, well, oh, I have to go get this socks. Oh, someone needs something for class. And this doesn't happen and you miss that yoga class and you feel horrible. Well, you know what? That's okay. And that goes right into break up with your workouts. You don't need to spend an hour at the gym to get an effective workout. You can do 10 minutes here and there within. If you wake up early in the morning, you can have that 10 minutes. You can have it in the midday and you can have it before bed, right? Once you start breaking it up, you can get an effective workout and you don't have to think to yourself, I need to set aside a whole hour. I know before I used to think I'd set aside an hour, but where am I going to find this time? It's impossible. So that already made me feel that I was failing. But once I started understanding I don't need to do a full hour, I could break up the workouts, I felt so much better. And what I love is that, okay, I have friends who all have dogs and they take their dogs around the neighborhood. And I started to see that they build communities with that. So when I had my kids and I had strollers, we started building a community around moms who would have their strollers, have their dogs. We built a community around that and we would go for walks in the morning. We would go to the park. And this is a great way to be active and have your kids with you, right? Try to incorporate your kids as much as possible. Okay, so this has to be my favorite part, okay? No, not the laundry part, but what happens in the laundry? There's something magical that happens in there that's the best workout tool. You know what that is? It's called socks. Socks are my magic things to work out. You can use a towel, you can use socks, and you can do this workout that she's doing right here. As you're watching television, you can do squats, you can do so many workouts in the middle of your day. Find something you love. Okay, let's talk about this. So if Pilates is all the rage right now, and you're forcing yourself to go to Pilates and it's not for you, well, you know what? Maybe you love dancing. So go pick up that Zumba class. You like to sweat all those toxins out? Well, go do that hot yoga class. I mean, there's so many other workouts that would tailor to what you love. Do you love spinning? Do you like calming yoga? in a regular, in a room that's not heated, there's so many forms of workouts that you can do. And let's talk about not hydrating enough. You need to hydrate. And we are all about superfoods. So have water. Water is so important. And I love pairing this with our Can't Beat This, because our Can't Beat This is vasodilate. So it brings more oxygen and blood flow to our blood cells. And I love the Cocoa Hydrate. It's delicious and it's full of electrolytes. So add that into when you're working out. Because what happens if you're not used to working out, sometimes you'll get lightheaded, you'll get dehydrated, and then you're like, well, maybe this is not for me, but maybe you're just dehydrated. Plan ahead. So I remember when I just started working out and I would come back upstairs into my house, I was starving. I didn't know what to eat. So sometimes you go for the junk food, right? But we have all of our superfoods that you can make your power shakes super easy. Or what I like to do is make those raw balls. Early in the morning when I wake up, I add some oats. I'll find some glyphosate-free oats. I'll add some almond flours, one of my protein, the MVP family or Epigenus family, and I'll add some dates and I'll mix that up and I'll put it in the fridge. So I know it's there for me. Right after my workouts, I have my nutrition on the go. All right, asking for help. How many of us out there have been guilty of not asking for help? Put a 1 in the chat. Can I put an 11? I know that it's so difficult for us to ask for help, especially by being a new mom. Maybe not a new mom. We always feel like we need to do it all on our own. I mean, we had the kids, right? Shouldn't we do everything? But who's putting this pressure on ourselves but ourselves, right? So it's okay to ask our husbands, our partners, I mean, our family members, your mom, your mother-in-law, your aunties and uncles. And if you don't have that, maybe you have a trusted neighbor, maybe you have a trusted parent in your child's school, someone that you trust. The key here is don't think you need to do it all on your own. You can ask for help. Okay, breathing. So breathing is important on so many levels. It helps calms us. It helps lower our cortisol. You know, and when you go do a workout, sometimes they're like, well, breathe in, breathe out, exhale. They're not just doing that to count. They're doing that so you can push through your workouts. When you have these deep breaths, it actually allows you to push harder. Don't give up. You know, we are a reflection of everything we want in the world. And as a Million Mom Movement, we are here as a collective community, supporting you, showing you not to give up, because you are doing this for yourself and your family. And we are here every Friday to support you. And you have so many people in your life supporting you. So remember your why. I remember when I started my network marketing business, my upline would always tell me whenever I would feel that I wanted to give up, he would say, remember your why. Remember why you're doing this. Remember the kids. And he would always tell me to write your why and stick it in your back pocket. So let's do the same with our fitness. Put your why, put your kids. Why are you doing this? You're doing this for the health of yourself and your family. So while we were going to talk about this article, we found this. This came to our attention, okay? How many of us out there has ever used formula? Drop a 2 in the chat. I know so many people have used formula and they've looked near and far to find the best type of formula. So we have here that the Enfamil baby formula was recalled. 145,000 cans may have a bacteria contamination. Well, let's examine this. I know that a lot of women reach out to me asking me for the best type of formula, right? If they can't produce their own milk. So what happens is that they start looking at the European brands, right? Have you guys noticed that a lot of people look at the European brands for formula. Like I think there's HIP, there's so many others. But you know what? This is a UK brand. This is a European brand. And this is a plant-based formula. Surprising, right? So this Enfamil product has been recalled. It's called Enfamil Pro Sobi Simple Plant-Based Formula. And it may have been polluted by a chronobacter contamination. Okay, so let's talk about this. We see this headline. What does that mean? Okay, so let me talk a little bit about that. Let me show you what this means. When we see chronobacteria, this is something that happens to dried foods, that happens to formula foods. Okay, and what does it mean? So the chronobacteria is the same strain as an enterobacteria, which is the same strain of Salmonella, E. coli, and Shingella. So Shingella is shingles. So I mean, if we saw the headline that said E. coli, wouldn't we be more alarmed, right? Or if we saw Salmonella, we would be more alarmed. I mean, it's the same bacteria strain. So we need to understand how dangerous this is. And why is it dangerous? Because it ruins your enteric system. What is the enteric system? It destroys your good bacteria in your gut. So if your kids are having this formula, it's destroying all of their gut flora, their good bacteria as a baby. And I know it's hard sometimes to produce your own milk. That's why we have something called barley grass that is excellent and that actually helps produce your own milk. And if you can't, maybe you can go to a breast bank. You can go somewhere and get some of the mother's milk because that is the best form of the milk. So that's our Into News piece for today. So back to you, Naiva.
Thank you so much, Taz. So much valuable information there. If you'll just go ahead and drop those links in the comments for everybody, you can grab those links, save them to your computer for later to review or to share with other people, because we're all about sharing solutions here. So once we know the problem, we can share the solution. And then of course, that first article all about all those fitness tips, if that was helpful for you, you might want to share it along to other people in your community. So we want to discover the power of balancing fitness and nutrition and joy, and learn how to be just heart healthy. This whole month has been about the heart health. If you've jumped on Dave's calls or our previous Fierce Fridays, you know we've been talking all about heart health all month long and proper nutrition. And so we really want to help you increase your physical activity and get the proper nutrition in your daily life. And we have some incredible guests here today. So I want to go ahead and introduce our first guest. She is a diamond with our company. She's a circus performer. She's also a fitness coach. She's been a part of our community for over 2.5 years now. And I'm so excited to hear her whole story today. So Adina, please come on. We're so excited to hear from you.
Hi, thank you so much, Naiva. So I actually got into movement because I had to. I got into movement for my own personal form of therapy. When I was 14 years old, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and I had inflammation throughout my body, but especially in my joints, especially in my knees. I couldn't walk properly. I couldn't straighten my legs. I couldn't bend my knees. And I was someone who loved hiking. I loved swimming. I loved the outdoors. So everything I loved kind of got put on hold and shifted quite a bit. And, my doctors told me to not strain my body, not put too much stress on it. So I was someone that loved running and climbing trees and being very, very active, and my doctors told me to take it easy on my body. But after 4 years of dealing with all of this inflammation and all of this pain, I got very, very depressed, and I tried to look for solutions, and something in me told me to begin moving my body. So I started stretching my body every single day for 6 months. I became obsessed with this, and I noticed that through this form of stretching, which I did through breath work and working with the nervous system, so really honoring my pain threshold and respecting that, I noticed that I was able to lower some of the inflammation in my body. And not only that, to get back my mobility. So, I had lost a lot of flexibility and I wasn't able to bend my legs, but through stretching and through consistent movement and breath work, I was actually able to go far beyond this and become a contortionist. So I taught myself at the age of 18 all of this flexibility. I got into hand balancing, pole dancing, and also aerial practicing. And, this really, really helped set me free. But as I continued to practice more and more, this snowballed into my career as a circus performer. So this is where things get really interesting, because when it turns into a career, we're putting more pressure and stress on my body. So in the beginning, it was my medicine and it really helped my body. But then it ended up harming me because throughout my circus career, I was training up to 4 hours every single day, 7 days a week. And then on top of that, preparing for all of these performances, and I have stage fright as well. So this is a lot of stress and impact on the body. And then when I perform, there's a spike of adrenaline. And then what happens after that? You got a drop in adrenaline. So I was dealing post-performance with depression, chronic pain, inflammation in my body, a flare-up in my immune condition. And I still, at this time, while performing and training 4 hours a day, hadn't found any nutrition that was really supporting my proper recovery, also my healthy response to inflammation, and supporting my energy levels. So I've been living this lifestyle with Purium from 2.5 years. And when this lifestyle found me, it really allowed me to regulate the inflammation response in my body, but also come off of 18 years of biologics injections, which was the first part of my healing and recovery for my training, because you can't have success in your training and you can't recover well if you're dealing with autoimmune and inflammation. So that was a big shift for me, regulating my, gut health, properly absorbing my nutrients. Just one second. And when I started incorporating this nutrition, I noticed a huge shift and evolution in my training. In the past, let's compare the two. In the past, I would train really rigorously, really, really hard, but I would deal with anxiety, depression, food cravings, energy crashes, inflammation responses. And then on the Purium lifestyle, I'm now experiencing consistency in my training in a way where, I'm not sore. Like I can do a 2 to 3 hour training and the next day I wake up, I'm not sore at all. And the inflammation in my body is regulated. So I have so much clarity and focus and energy to stay consistent with my training. My recovery time is incredible. My consistency is off the charts, because in the past, I would be consistent for a week and then I'd fall off for a week or 2 weeks, managing all these other symptoms. And my gains. Let's talk about my gains, because in order to have gains in your training, you need recovery. Okay. And in the past, yes, I had gains. I evolved tremendously in my craft, but it came with all these consequences. And now with my gains, first of all, it doesn't come with consequences, but also the gains are so much faster and so much more rewarding. I remember being capped out at 10 push-ups. And I'm someone that does aerial and pole and hand balancing. You'd think I can do more than 10 push-ups. And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get more than 10. Well, on this Purium nutrition, taking it in consistently, I was able to, within 2 weeks, get up to 30 push-ups. Of course, I got there quickly because I am consistent with my training. So it always depends on how consistent you are. But for me, that was monumental. Just 2 weeks, from 10 push-ups to 30 push-ups. I started exploring chin-ups. I was always stuck at 3. And then very soon, within a month, I was at 9 chin-ups. Okay, if you guys haven't done chin-ups, they're like the most brutal, hardest things to do. I'd rather balance on my hands any day than do chin-ups. So yeah, my strength has evolved. I'm doing weight training now. I've built so much muscle mass, and really it's all from the most efficient nutrition out there, And some of the products that I'm taking, let me just go over these, because this is really what has been supporting me during my workouts. It's Super Amino. So Super Amino 23, hands down, is my #1 favorite product. I always take 10 of these before every workout, and you just get that like clean energy. It's like eating a meal before a workout and having all that energy without having eaten a meal at all. You're getting free energy. It's pre-digested. So it's just this clean source of energy. It goes straight into your muscles and your bloodstream within 23 minutes. You're using this protein for the next 2 hours. You're building muscle. And for me, it was really the answer, because I was eating sugars, I was drinking coffee, I was having a meal before a workout. I even tried fasting, but all these things, I couldn't sustain my energy levels. With the sugar and coffee, it was fake energy. And with fasting, I mean, it helped because I had an empty stomach, but in the long run, it really broke me down. I needed some kind of nutrients. So the Super Amino provides that clean protein. The Can't Beat This is incredible. It really is vascular, providing oxygen for your muscles. I find it's incredible for things like weight training, because you need that power and you need that oxygen. And I deal with asthma as well. So if any of you guys have asthma, you know that it's so hard to do a workout trying to get your oxygen in. But with Can't Beat This, it's actually really supported me to get sufficient oxygen, which boosts my energy levels and allows me to go through a really strenuous workout like contortion, hand balancing, or weight training. And it helps me stay really, it offers sustained energy for me. And then of course I balance that out with Cocoa Hydrate, because in order to have your muscles fire correctly so you can prevent injury, you need electrolytes. So I add the Cocoa Hydrate, I mix it with the Can't Beat This, I add a little pinch of salt, and this is something I'm sipping throughout my workout. And I notice with each sip, I'll usually do a sip and then lift some weights, because I find it is that effective for me. It's it kicks in very quick. So I like to sip it throughout. And then the Tart Cherry. The Tart Cherry is amazing for post-workout recovery. It helps to balance your inflammation response in your body. Also, the Super Xanthan is a red algae, something I take before my workouts, and it really, really supports the recovery of your workouts. And then to build muscle, I love the MVP Sport, because it's really hard to get in all of our protein intake in the day. But with a shake, it's really simple. And I think MVP provides like 32 grams of protein, and it's really, really clean source of nutrition. And combined with the Super Aminos and my meal at the end of the day, I'm hitting about 100 grams of protein. So this is really supporting like my recovery, my muscle building, my performance. And since I've been eating this nutrition, I really, there's no going back. I mean, I've tried workouts without these foods, and I just can't do that anymore. This is the best form of nutrition. You're supporting your cells, you're nourishing, you're hydrating, you're building muscle, and you're also supporting your recovery. And in my experience as a circus performer in the green room with many other excellent artists who are doing incredible things with their bodies, I'm watching what they're eating before they go out to do an extreme show. And it's oftentimes Tim Hortons coffee and donuts. And it's a false sense of energy. It's a fake energy, right? It may give them a spike for their show, but ultimately it's harming their bodies. It's not supporting their recovery time. And I know that they would be performing 1,000 times better with this nutrition. So it's been my hope to inspire more of the circus community to incorporate this nutrition, because it's been a complete game changer. And I hope it is for you guys too. Thank you, Naiva.
Beautiful, Adina. Thank you so much for sharing, your whole journey from before you got introduced to the products, how your life was, and the hardships that you went through, and then into like how these superfoods have really helped you in your performance and also in your pre and post workout, recovery. That's so important to know what we can implement on a daily basis to really help give our bodies the proper nutrition to keep going and to enhance our performance. So amazing share. And I love your story so much. Thank you for coming on and being our guest today.
Thank you, Naiva.
And so we'll open up for Q&A in about 10 minutes. So if you have questions, just write them down. We can get back to that. We have another really special guest today. She's an incredible woman. She's a mother of 2. She's a movement coach and personal trainer. And I'm just so excited to bring her here to our community. And so I want to introduce Betsy to you all. Betsy, come on and share your story.
Hi, hello everybody. My name is Betsy. I am Cuban, but I've been in USA since 2007, and I've been more half of my life out of my country already. So I always said that I am a citizenship of the world. That's how I feel because Zumba has been my main workout for more than 15 years. I had the privilege. Well, I met Zumba in 2005, living in Mexico. I lost a baby. I lost a pregnant a baby, and in that time I was really depressed. I hoped to meet Purion in those time, but it didn't. I wasn't in that range yet. So when I met Zumba in that moment was my safe. You know, I started dancing. I started working out my body, and it was a big change for me. So it called me to be not just an instructor, but also an educator. So I dedicate 15 years of my life to train new instructors all over the world. And it challenged me in many ways, but especially it challenged not just my language, it challenged my body. And with time, you start feeling it, that if you don't take care enough of your body, if you don't eat properly, you start feeling it because the time comes and the age is coming and we have to embrace it the best way. But I came to Miami and I've been teaching Zumba forever. But in 2020, when everything happened in the world and the pandemic came, I had the biggest challenge in my life. And the biggest challenge in my life was my mom went through cancer. My mom had been living with me and supporting me all my life. I am the only child, so I don't have brothers and sisters, and she has to come to live with me. When she come to live with me, I have to take care of her. At the same time, I am mom and dad of my kids, so I have to also live with all that. And with the pandemic, also my daughter, she's now 15 years old. She went into a very deep depression, like all the schools challenge, all the society, all the hormones, everything came together, and she went through a psychotic episode. Like it wasn't just a depression, it was even more deep. And I have to face all that. And I say, okay, I have to be okay for them, right? Because when you have to be okay for others, the first thing you have to do is to be okay, you yourself. And in that time, it was hard at the beginning because I barely have time to eat. I was so time like driving here, an appointment in the morning for my mom, an appointment in the afternoon for my daughter, like homeschooling. I have another son. I have to take care of him too. And my dad was working to sustain everybody. You know, it was a really hard time, like a very, very hard time. But in between of everything, I say, okay, all I have to do is being okay. If I am okay, I will be able to be okay for everyone, and then I can support them in this journey. And in between of that, I met a friend. Well, I already met her, but she talked to me about Purium because she listened to me struggling about, oh my God, I don't have time for lunch today. Or, oh, let me grab this apple and going into the or the bar or whatever. And I was teaching classes in the morning, doing challenge online because everybody needs to keep moving because movement saved the world in pandemic, and Purium and the good nutrition. So I was feeling so out of energy, like a really out of gas. And I start feeling down in that moment. And that friend of mine, we do Reiki together. I also do Reiki. And when I met her, I say, you know what? I can wake up every day in the morning very early. I keep my mind clear. I try to keep my body moving. I try to do everything at home for everybody, but I need to eat better because I feel that I am going out of gas. And she brought me this, the Power Shake. And when she brought me that, I was always very skeptic to all the products because in the fitness world, every time I went to conventions in China, Japan, Argentina, Brazil, Mexico, Canada, everywhere. They always bring you different products. Try this, try this. Oh, you're gonna love this, and this shake and this protein and that. And I never felt good drinking any other product before. Like I always was the type of person that I prefer to eat fruits before my class instead eating a power to feel more energy. I didn't like any other powder. And then I say, okay, I am very not like a mother nature lover. Like I like food. I like real food. I don't believe a lot in products and things like that. And she said, you have to try this. You will see how you feel with that. And then I try for a week first before to do the challenge, before to buy my own products. I try for a week, and it was enough to know that it was what I need to keep my energy. Like how I felt, I was in the hospital with my daughter. She was in an episode, and we had to be there for 5 days because she got COVID, and for that reason we had to be isolated, the two of us together in a room, four walls, and she was almost beating her nails. She was really bad. And I said, okay, I am able to meditate. I'm unable to do Reiki, and I am, but how I maintain myself here. So I asked to my friend, please, I want to buy this. I need this. And I brought it with me to the hospital. And with that, I survive. I survive. I keep my energy. I keep, it's not just energy because food is beyond energy. It's physical energy to be able to move or to do everything we have to do. It's about your electromagnetic field, like how you immediately increase your vibration. And when you increase your vibration, you can radiate others with that vibration. And with that vibration, I could be helpful for my daughter. Like I could increase her own vibration from darkness to light. And I see Purio not just as a beautiful superpower, superfood. I see also Purio a way to transform the world, increasing the vibration of everybody. Because if we increase our vibration, we're going to be able to radiate better energy to everybody, and we're going to be able to transform not just our organs, not just our physical body, but also what we radiate to others, right? And our brain and our thoughts and our emotions and our feelings and everything we do, it will come from another level of energy. And that's how I fell in love with Purium. So now carbohydrate here, I can I can stop drinking that, like my cherry at night to sleep well. I came back to travel a lot. So when I travel a lot, you know, my cycle of sleeping is going out of time zone. So it helped me to immediately restore my cycle. And I can tell many, many, many things, but it inspired me so much to actually create. Now I am creating in my website because I see many moms, I see many friends in different type of jobs that they don't get time to eat well, to move, to restore their energy, to restore their mind, and it's always rushing, rushing. We live in a world that is always rushing, or it's always here and this, and we are always getting apart and apart and apart of ourselves. So I create something that now that I am going to launch now in March, and I'm so happy because Purium going to be part of that. It's easy for the busy. I want to encourage people to find time in the busy time to do easy things, easy steps, little meditations, superfood, little workouts, little time for themselves. Because I truly believe that if we increase our inner energy, if we increase our vibration, we can spread that to others, and then we can make change in the world. Because it's not just about to take the decision of doing it, it's being aware of what we're doing with our body beyond our physical body. And well, I have to say thank you to Carmela, because Carmela have been my mentor in the process, and I was too busy to read sometime. I was too busy to find out information. I was too busy, right, leading with many things. And she always say, hey, try this, try that. And now my parents are doctors, and we sometimes sit down at night because my mom continue recovering from cancer. And now we talk about, okay, what is the best superfood for this or for this or for that? And we sit down in front of the computer and we find out what of the supplements are better. And it's so good because we find products for everything in Purium. My mom stopped taking her medicine for heart, so she's taking heart aid now. So it's not that harmed that the other medicine that she was taking. She's also using the Power Shake because she doesn't have appetite sometimes. She doesn't want to eat very well. So it's helping her to keep, healthy. And even all her blood tests have been okay beside the cancer in her body. So it's a good supplement. And the best of the best is what I can transmit to my kids. Now my kids ask me for Biomedic every day. My son asks me for amino because he's training at the gym and he wants to increase his muscles. And he said, Mommy, recommend me something from Purium. Okay, type this. So it's so beautiful how they listen to me. But beyond that, I've been the testimony in my own family, the how to change in a positive way my life and being able to help them to be okay. So it's something that it wasn't that I tell them, it was by example. And when we do that example in our family, they will follow us. And that's what moms has to do, being an example for our kids. And now my son Pablo is very interesting in being part of the family. So he will be very soon part of the Purium family because he's a massage therapist now, and he wants to also represent and raise the voice for the new young people, for the new generations, which is very important. Thank you.
Beautiful share, Betsy. Thank you so much for coming on and being our guest. And what an incredible share, from being exposed to so many different products that are introduced to you and never really feeling that bigger difference until you had the experience with the Power Shake. And I can say that so many people, that's where they see the difference. They have the Power Shake for the first time or for the first few days, and they right away start to feel the difference in their body. And I'm so happy that your children are also leaning into this Purium economy and just the healthy lifestyle. It starts with baby steps. And I love that they're asking for their aminos and their Biomedic. That's what my older son loves as well. He takes it every single day before school. And I think it's so important that we can be the example for our children. And you said that. So thank you so much for coming on today. And I believe Michelle Ricci wanted to share a little bit before we open for Q&A. So Michelle, would you like to come on?
Sure. Hi, everyone. And this is Michelle Ricci. I've been with Purium for about 3 years and on the council since October. This is such a great call, and I want to thank our previous guests for their shares and just how powerful and relatable it is. And as we were talking, the guests were talking, I was reminded that fitness and joy and nutrition go together, but some people are really sick. And I remember when I was really sick, I had poor exercise recovery from all of the toxins and the toxic trauma that I sustained. I had inflammation through all 11 systems of my body. So my blood vessels weren't, open, they were closed, and it really reduced the oxygen carrying capacity of my bloodstream. And I was exhausted bringing groceries from the car to the house. Obviously that wasn't a very joyous part of my life, and trying to get reconnected back. This is such a wonderful thing for our athletes, and to have fitness and to enhance, what we're doing. And it can really help people get back on the path to their fitness. The nutrition is so important. When we reduce the inflammation in our digestive tract, we're reducing the inflammation throughout every system of our body. And Purium is really rehabilitating that gut and providing that. So I wanted to just drop that little nugget in here of, you know, nutrition and fitness really kind of spans even through chronic illness and people who can't work out in the moment. So, you know, now I enjoy a full healthy lifestyle and fitness every day after 3 years on these nutrients. It didn't take me that long. It was a slow progression to feel vital again, but it really is for no matter where you are, nutrition goes hand in hand with just about anything you're trying to accomplish for yourself, your body, your life, and how you feel. So I just wanted to add that, Naiva. Thanks for letting me share.
Thank you so much, Michelle. And yes, it's so true. It all goes hand in hand, and it always starts with the nutritional component. If we don't have proper nutrition in our bodies, it's going to be challenging to get our fitness routine in line. It's going to be challenging for us to have the energy to sustain ourselves or want to do those things for our bodies. So I love your share. Thank you, everybody that came on and shared today. And let's open it up for Q&A. So if you have a question for any of these ladies about this topic, we'd love to open it up. You can go ahead and raise your hand, and we can go and you can come on and ask your questions, and Adina and Betsy can share some more on, you know, answer some of your questions. So just raise your hand. Down below, there's a reaction, and you can just click on it and raise your hand. Hi, Pamela.
Hello, thank you ladies for your shares. Adina, when do you usually take your MVP? If you have a protein drink, when do you usually take it?
I love taking it right after my workouts. It just, yeah, before my workouts, I don't like to have anything heavy in my stomach. So I'll do the 10 super aminos. On any given day, I'll just do 5, but before a workout, I like to do 10 because what I'm doing is pretty extreme. And then I'll have that with the Can't Beat This and the Cocoa Hydrate. And then right after the workout, I come down and have my protein shake. And I like to add in banana with the MVP Sport. And I mix in a little bit of the chai protein because I love that banana chai MVP vanilla mix. That's my favorite.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Adina. That sounds so delicious. I love the chai as well, the vanilla chai. So yummy. Any other questions for these ladies today before we go into our call to action and the rest of our call? We have a few more minutes to take questions.
So we're talking about joy and nutrition and fitness. So what ways in your branding have you found the most joy in sharing Purium?
Is that directed for me?
Either of you. I'd love to hear more about how you enjoy sharing it most with your branding with fitness.
Okay, I'll start. I mean, I'm always sharing my performances and posting pictures. So I love mixing it together with how I actually prepare myself for a workout. I think people really like to see what goes on in the background. You know, they love the final product and stuff, but I've noticed that people love to see me actually training in my studio. So I'll show people what my process of how I prepare for it with nutrition, but also mentally how I prepare for it and what my workouts involve. And I think that keeps people really engaged and also inspired, because some people, they see what I'm doing, they're like, okay, I'm going to start push-ups this week, because they're just so enamored with hand balancing or with chin-ups, that it just gets them wanting to move their bodies. And it gets people asking questions too about really how this nutrition works. And I think a lot of people are surprised oftentimes that I'm not having some big meal before a workout, that I'm just having these super amino tablets and a simple drink, so I think that's impressive to people to see that that is supplying me that much energy to do what I'm doing. They're like, okay, I want to know what's in your cup.
Yeah, that's so helpful. Thank you. I'll follow you. How about you, Betsy?
Well, I always think that when something make you happy, when something make you feel good, you feel joy sharing to everyone. Like everything that is good for you, you always want to share with everybody. Sometimes I don't need to be even in a class. I am in the supermarket and I hear someone telling me like, oh, I have digestive problem. And the other day, I sent 3 people to the page to find aloe digest because they were like, oh my God, I have problem with this, but I don't want to take this. Okay, try this. It's amazing. Look, let's read together, blah, blah, because it's amazing for me. So I find joy sharing what makes me happy.
Yeah, perfect. It always comes back to your own frequency. So thank you for that message for both of you. Yeah, it's so true. And it's easy with nutrition because you just feel it. You feel so good. You want to share in your brand. I mean, you guys are very strong fitness brands. So yeah, everyone, please visit their pages and check out and be inspired by how they share movement and joy in their branding.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for asking that question, Carmela, because it is so important. And if you ladies want to go ahead and drop your handles in the comments so that our community can follow you, see how you share what it is that you're passionate about, as well as how you share these superfoods on your social media. We'd love to just follow you and follow your journey. And we're going to go ahead. If there's no more questions, I don't see any other people with their hand up here. I had seen a hand up, but you disappeared. So we're going to move on. And we would love to ask somebody in our community to read the pledge in just a minute. So whoever would like to do that, if you want to raise your hand. And prior to doing that, we're going to go ahead and go into our call to action with Michelle Ricci.
Thanks, Naiva. If you don't mind bringing up Natural Grocers Instagram page. It's February and we are highlighting companies on the Detox Project list that actually have products that were non-detect for glyphosate. So that's exciting. This week, we're going to be talking about Natural Grocers. And February is also Black History Month. So I picked a post on the Nature's Grocers website. Let's all go together as I call us to action. And we're going to head over to Instagram and we're going to look for the Natural Grocers Instagram page. Did I freeze? Shoot. Nope. Am I still here?
You're good
Okay.
now.
Okay, thank you. And I don't, Naiva, are you able to pull it up? Oh, you're muted too. Okay, so Naiva's going to pull up the Instagram page, and if you go to their page and you go five posts down on the left-hand side, they're highlighting other companies that are regeneratively farmed, that are using practices that align with the Million Mom movement. So I picked that particular post to write a blurb on. So let me just read the blurb from my page here. It has been brought to our attention that Nature's Grocers organic garbanzo beans, organic green lentils, organic pinto beans, organic soybeans, the non-GMO green lentils, and the non-GMO split peas do not contain the toxic herbicide glyphosate per the Detox Project report. We've been reaching out to companies to address this issue, and as a group of concerned parents at the Million Mom movement, we'd like to thank you for having products that do not detect this chemical per the Detox Project. And then I listed the report. So after I did that, I went ahead and started screen recording, and I just commented with my own voice, and I showed this particular post and talked a little bit about Nature's Grocers and showed my comment. My intention is to post a reel that I can then tag the Million Mom movement in and further educate people in our community. So hopefully you guys were able to find that post, and sorry, I'm not able to screen share from where I am. Neva, were you able to find it, or their Instagram page?
I thought I was screen sharing and I guess I was just over there by myself. I apologize.
It's okay. Okay, great. This probably gives a little context to what I was just talking about. So if you go down, it's the one with the building. It's about the fifth one down on the left. And you can see in the comments there, in their blurb at the top, that they're highlighting these companies that are also regenerative agriculture and just high in integrity with their products and what they use. So then right below it, I posted a comment, and you can do your own version of this. We really just want to give them some kudos and let them know that we're watching and that we appreciate how far they go. And if you were to ask me which one of the stores besides farmers markets and organic foods that I love the best, I would pick Nature's Grocers, because I think that they are the most highly ethical as far as what they do for the products that they work with and the companies that they work with. I think they have the most oversight out of any of the grocers. So thanks, Naiva, and I can't wait to see all of your reels and have you tag us in that and help us further the movement. Okay, so did anybody volunteer in the comments to read the pledge? Let's see here. If not, I'll go ahead and choose someone at random. Nobody has their hand up. Pamela Gilchrist, you're at the top of my screen. Would you do us the honors? I'll ask you to unmute. Naiva can pull up the pledge and you can send us off.
You bet. I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and free of man-made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living. I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health and environment of future generations. I am committed to sharing this movement of many. I am the Million Mom movement.
And we are the Million Mom movement, and we're so glad you're here. Thank you for doing that for us. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Carmela, who's going to close us out for this week.
Thanks so much. What a great call. Thanks so much, everyone, for being on, our guests as well. We want to invite you to reach back to the person who invited you to the Zoom and come back to our Million Mom Movement Facebook group page. We have also a Facebook official page. There's two, there's a group and official, but please join us every Friday for our health and wealth focused Fierce Friday Zooms and invite your friends. Let's grow these numbers. And the topics are so important for all of us to just be hearing stories from and meet fellow entrepreneurs that are superfood entrepreneurs. Please follow us on our Instagram. All the links and replays are in the link in our bio in our Instagram. So also please use the hashtag Million Mom Movement to be reposted on our page. The pictures of our kids, families, team posts, lifestyle, mom life. These are just ideas of what you would want to post and tag us on. But superfoods, recipes, home-based business stories, as well as your activism. We want you all to lead with more activism, and that's why we give you some ideas as how to do that. Really, your activism around glyphosate solutions. So yeah, we are excited to launch into March next week. And we're going to have topics coming up. Can you believe it's March already, guys? And so we have a lunch and learn that is coming up that's booked. It's always the third Wednesday of the month, and it is my dental surgeon, my biological dental surgeon's coming back to discuss specifically holistic dentistry and root canals. So we also are still looking for 10 to 15 second clips of kids in the field that are similar to the ones that we've had for our previous Million Mom Movement video. to educate people about what is the Million Mom Movement. So just go to our official page and you can view our old video.
Sure, some beautiful people on here. God. Beautiful.
Oh, so sweet.
She-
So yes, thank you so much for that. And we look forward to seeing you next week, Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. Bless you.
Thank you so much, Carmela. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will see you next week, Friday. Have a beautiful end of the month and have a great weekend.
Should be able to unmute. Looks like Norma might have a question.
I'm sorry, where would I find the recording? I was late to this meeting and I wanted to listen to it later. Where would I be able to find it?
Yeah,
we
you
have
can join us on our Million Mom Movement official page where we always post the replays. We also have a YouTube channel where we post the replays. And Carmela, I think you mentioned a couple other spots that maybe I didn't. Do you want to?
Yeah, our video replays for Fierce Friday are always on our YouTube channel, but our Instagram page has the links for our YouTube channel. So you could always send people onto our Instagram page or our Facebook official group, and they'll find everywhere where we could be found.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Oh, and
Thanks,
I did want to
everyone.
mention the detoxproject.org. So how to find where we're sourcing our CTA, our call to action, is it's from detoxproject.org, and you go into the poison in our daily bread. That report is where we're sourcing the non-detect, which Michelle Ricci had shared. And we've been ongoing talking about each individual product to either address, but today we're celebrating. So cheers, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend.